Konnichiwa, and welcome once again, for it is I, Glipglopoulos, from Sector 9 Prime, welcoming you back once again to Lizard Brains, the Godzilla rewatching podcast. I am Glipglopoulos.
And I am a representative from Planet X. Greetings.
Yes!
Welcome.
How are you doing, friend?
Computations say I am doing well. How are you?
Good!
My calculations
We're very
say
loud
that you
here
are
in
doing
Sector
great.
9.
All
Hey,
right.
guys.
Hello, everybody. My name's Marcus.
I'm Vince, hello. Welcome to Lizard Brains episode 6. We're going to be talking, this is, like I said, Godzilla rewatching podcast, where we're watching all of them. I've seen all of them, if not all, most of them, if not all of them.
I have
Marcus
seen none
here.
of them, except the ones we've seen for this show.
And I'm just going to say right off the bat that this one is fucking amazing.
I fully agree. Okay, so real quick though, you assigned me some homework for this one.
Yes. Oh, you did listen.
I did listen.
Okay, before we get into that, there's just one thing I want to talk about. Vince Zilla here. Real quick, I just wanted to thank a few people. We have to thank our Patreon. Our Patreon allows us to do projects like this, allows us to have fun and try new stuff, new shows. We can do side projects. We can try out some new things. Few people that we have to thank. First, from the top, our patron, we have to thank Noah. Thank you, Noah. We also have to thank Gage, but we have to thank him twice. Once for the Patreon and one for the Discord. He supports the Discord, so we can do stuff like streaming, and we can have game nights and do a bunch of other fun stuff. So thank you, Gage, twice. We have to thank Jordan with a Y. Thank you, Jordan with a Y. And we also have to thank Danny. Also, we must thank Bones Jones and Vigil Beats for our intro music. Links to all of his stuff in the description below. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you. Now let's get back on into the show. Real quick, I want to apologize for the last episode being out so late. I kind of got hit with a bunch of other things I had to record and I had to edit, and I'm in the middle of some big shit right now and kind of just got a little overwhelmed. And then on top of that, Toho copyright claimed the video. This is the 5th one we've done, and in every single one we've had a trailer from the movie, and this is the first time that I put the trailer in and Toho was like, get fucked, bucko. So I don't...
Yeah, who knows? Personally, I take this as a compliment. It obviously means that Toho believes us to be enough of a threat that they have to copyright strike. Eventually we'll get so powerful that we'll be able to copyright strike them.
Maybe we could buy them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would really like to own the property of Godzilla.
I'd start making movies again.
Right?
Okay, so yeah.
Anyway.
We got claimed, and this is actually the second time Lizard Brains got claimed. In a past episode, I never brought it up, but we got claimed by... They didn't block the video. Toho totally blocked the video from being shown. Like, completely blocked from being shown. For the last movie that we watched, Geedorah the Three-Headed Monster, Netflix hit us with, if we were to make any money on YouTube, we couldn't. We were not eligible to make, or we would make a percentage less, and then Netflix would get that money that we potentially would have made. That's because that's kind of how YouTube works.
Because Netflix needs the money.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So they can make cuties too. But I didn't think anything of it. I still don't think anything of it. I think there's like a part of me that like the 9-year-old in me is like, Toho knows I exist. Like,
oh my god. Do you think they like me?
So yeah. But I just wanted to mention that quick. Outside of that, I did give you the homework.
Yes.
What did you think?
It was a great album. Like cover to cover, I would say on average, I really enjoyed it. Few things I was like, all right, that's pretty good. A few things I was like, holy shit. But for the most part, it was good. I think the closest thing I could come to finding disappointment was there was one track that had this really cool polyrhythmic thing happening. But by the time the verses started, it turned into just a normal 4/4, which was it was good. It was still fun to listen to.
So for those who don't know, I gave Marcus the homework of listening to "Take Me to Your Leader" by King Ghidorah. It's an MF Doom album, and a lot of the samples come from, even there's a part in this movie where one of the astronauts does something, and the line is "Follow the light is your guide," and that is what the album opens with. Like, there's a beat, and not even before there's even a beat, there is just that line of dialogue taken directly from the movie. And was the song you're talking about where they keep speeding up and it goes faster, 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 faster?
I think so. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't just like sit down and listen to the album. Mm-hmm. I was like listening to it while doing other things, so I didn't really like start to associate name of track and thing. It was one of the ones that had a lot of samples in it to tell a story.
Oh, that makes okay. See, those I wanted to talk about the most.
Yeah, those are really good. I fully enjoyed those.
Those I love that audio collage of just sounds, and it builds this character and it builds this idea and just forms this huge thing into one. I could listen to that. There's actually a theory I read that if you listen to, I think it's the track Monster Zero, that he's making Geedorah to be mainstream music and mainstream labels, and that because they take the line from the movie, because of the monster we cannot live on the surface, and it was taken that as saying like because of it being different and weird and just kind of at its own pace, and it wasn't a bunch of dudes with chains, because a big thing with Doom is he wears a mask, and that's kind of like the whole thing is that he's the supervillain, and he took it from Dr. Doom, and he said, because he originally had a group originally called KMD, and then his brother was a part of it. His brother had died, and then he was like homeless for a little while, and then when he came back to music, he noticed that it was no longer about how well somebody rapped, and it was more about what somebody looked like. So he said, fuck that, I'm going to put a mask on and rap better than everybody. And, excuse me, and then created this entire persona of this supervillain to the point where when he goes on stage, at least for the past few years that he's even still doing anything live, he doesn't come out. He pays somebody to go and to do an impression of him. So it's a dude who's not built like him, who's a different skin tone than him, might even have more or less hair than him. Like, it's just the dude coming out and rapping over, or not even rapping, he's like lip syncing to a CD. And yeah, and a big thing with Geedorah is that he has multiple characters. Metal Fingers is the guy who makes the beats. Doom himself is the main guy, and then there's Victor Vaughn, who's like a younger, scrappier, like just trying to get into it type of guy. And then Geedorah, the way he described Geedorah is Geedorah's in space and tells everybody on Earth what to do. So he's in charge. And that's another thing I really like about the album is that Doom's not always rapping on it. There's other people rapping on it, and you'll go a track or two without Doom on it. He's all right, you do it. He's like I love the thematics of this album. I love the idea of this album. It's a fucking phenomenal album. And I just wanted you to hear it. I wanted you to, because I haven't seen this movie in a very, very long time. And hearing the samples come from the movie, I was like, whoo, yeah. Like, it got me ready to fucking go. I love this movie. Do you have any thoughts on this movie? Again, I didn't do a write-up. Bad with time management. So do you have anything you want to say before I go into just the details before we spoil?
Yes, two things. One, not about the movie. Just probably should have brought this up sooner. I recently got a new setup for this recording. You might notice no headphones. So if things look kind of wonky, I'm sorry. I'm still figuring it out.
Is my
but yeah.
audio coming through your computer?
Hum?
Is my audio coming through your computer?
Yes.
Is it recording me speak?
Potentially. Say a thing.
So I'm saying a thing.
It looks like my mic is picking it up. Hooray!
Yeah, you might want to go grab some headphones quick. So yeah, Marcus has a new setup, and you're not going to see it through the power of editing, but we just spent 15 minutes trying to figure out why I'm coming through his TV and not his headphones, because it would be an editing nightmare if he went the entire episode with me coming through his screen. So there might be some hiccups.
A little bit. We're starting on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry about that.
It's all good.
Back to the regularly scheduled program. So this movie was fantastic. I gotta say, having listened to the album first, I was not properly prepared for the tone difference between that album and this movie. I was led to believe that this movie was going to be like a serious dark-ish type thing.
Yeah.
Turns out Godzilla's kind of goofy as fuck.
How fucking good is this movie? How
So
good is this one? It's so good.
So fucking good. I loved it. Yeah, let's get into the thing.
Okay, you don't want to do any spoiler-free talk? You want to go right to the spoiler talk?
I mean, you got anything to say that's not spoiler heavy? Because like, there's a lot happens in this film.
I want to say this now. We're going to touch upon it later. But I want to say now, the miniatures. Oh my good God, the miniatures.
Fair. They're really good.
They made the first movie, like Geedorah the Three-Headed Monster, just so they could have the budget for that movie for the suit, because everything else in this movie, oh my God. All right, so real quick, we're actually recording this December 10th. Depending on when this comes out, it might actually come out on the anniversary of this movie.
Really?
December 19th of 65.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, so who knows? Budget is unknown, but it says at the box office it made 5,130,000 yen. It's a movie directed by Ishiro Honda, produced by Tomoyaki Tanaka, written by Shiziri Shirakazawa, and again, at the fucking S tier prime of his game, my boy Akira Ikafube back again. How fucking good are the music? How good is the music in space? Like how fucking...
Oh my God. The music... There's only one track in this film that does not fit. But only one. And we can get to that. But like... everything... And I get the sense that track was not his decision. Like, it felt very... Really? Yeah.
So, this movie, it's a direct sequel from the last one. There's a new planet, Planet X, and everything on the planet is numbered. The monster is 0. And they send a Japanese astronaut and an American astronaut.
There's a white guy!
Which I thought it was neat that everybody speaks to him in Japanese and he answers in English, and then everybody answers back in Japanese.
Oh, actually, I saw the dub. So he was in Japanese.
What do you mean?
Like, I saw the Japanese version, so everything he said was in Japanese, but, like, you could see that he was saying things in English.
I see.
Yeah.
So you watched the subbed version?
Yes.
So, okay, I watched the dubbed version.
Okay, yeah, you got all the sound effect. I got, like, the samples from the album in subtitle form.
Neat.
It was actually pretty cool.
Neat. Okay, so your version is actually 2 minutes longer.
Worth it.
I don't know what the 2-minute difference is. Like I said before, at this point, I genuinely think you could watch them in English because they're just fucking goofy. If you like watching them in Japanese, go right ahead. I don't really... I'm probably talking out of my ass when I say this, but there is probably a large amount that is not changed after this point. Again, I don't know. But Planet X is out there. They send 2 scientists two astronauts into space to find out what's there. As soon as they get there, the ship disappears, and they have to find out what the fuck is going on Planet X. This movie is a fucking chef kiss. It's fucking so... It's so good. It's so fucking good.
It is the perfect marriage of a kaiju movie and ray gun gothic. Like, yeah, it's so good. So fucking good. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that it is an American in the movie, because, like, the white guy's name is Glenn. I fully thought that he was Australian. He just looked and sounded Australian to me. Which, you know, doesn't take anything away from the movie.
Really?
I think. Yeah. I thought he was Australian. Not sure why.
Yeah, yeah, this is one where I actually know people's names. There's Glenn and Fuji.
Yup.
And in the dub, they actually gave Fuji a nickname. He calls him Fuge, which I thought was cool. That, like...
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, but, okay, let's just get right into the spoilers.
Right.
This movie fucking rocks. This movie's fucking amazing. It's so
good.
Goddamn good. It's so fucking ridiculously good. I fucking love this movie. There's a part where Godzilla jumps on Geedorah, and he's like, fuck around and find out, and body slams this motherfucker in space. Dude, Godzilla's in fucking space.
Right? And it's not Space Godzilla, which I know is a thing. I know it's a thing. You can't fool me.
Do you know the origin of Space Godzilla?
Not a clue.
Do you want to know a little bit of Space Godzilla?
Ooh, no.
Okay.
Let me find that shit out.
Okay.
Let me find that shit out. God damn, this movie is a fucking trip, start to finish. Like, I love the buddy cop dynamic, but it's like buddy scientist soldier dynamic.
Yeah.
With Fuji and Glenn.
Big Glenn.
Honestly, at first I was confused why they put why they put a white dude in, until we got to like the second act or the third act, when I realized, oh, they need him to fuck aliens and punch people. That's why he's in this movie.
Yeah,
I feel so represented.
This is also the dubbed version has I forget the guy's name. It's something with an S, I want to say, and I'm pretty sure he's the guy who is responsible for bringing Godzilla to America, more or less. I'm on fandom. I get all of my statistical stuff on Godzilla.fandom.com, like all of the who directed, the plot, just in case I need to reference anything. I don't see anything instantly.
Who are we talking about?
There's a white dude who's like the guy who I'm pretty sure is the reason. Who's the reason why they brought Godzilla to America, and I can't remember his fucking name. And I'm looking for it, but I can't see it.
Do you want me to vamp?
If you want, yeah.
From the makers of Dark Bowls.
Mothra was supposed to be in the movie.
And Dank Bowls, we have a new product. Sure to change your life. But yes, come with me, friends, while we discuss and dissect the dark, dank, devilishly detailed annals of the writings of Edgar Allan Poe on his new album, Nevermore, Nevermore, Get Your Bitch Out. A song about it's a gothic rap album dedicated to his long lost mother and or lover from the 1800s. We're not entirely sure. Buy now, and you'll get the 76 song set on 6 CDs and 2 8-tracks.
Can I jump back in?
Please.
Okay, so I can't
God.
find anything, but I'm reading, kind of like going through this. There's just some fun facts. I'm upset that I can't find it, and it's going to come to me as soon as we're done recording.
Of course.
But Mothra was originally planned to be in the movie, but they couldn't have her in because of budget issues. This is the first time an alien race shows up.
Oh yeah, spoilers. There's aliens in this one.
We got to talk about the Godzilla dance.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about that. There's just a few more things on here real quick. There's a couple deleted scenes that the controller of Planet X speaks in a language that's just for Planet X, which is cool, which I would have liked if they would have kept that in and not deleted it, because I just thought it was weird that they got there and they were like, we know how to speak Japanese and or English.
That was in the Japanese version, or there are scenes of him speaking that language.
Really?
Really.
No shit. Well, that's the 2 minutes I missed.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's an interesting language. I gotta say, okay, so the one thing I didn't like about this movie, and what, like, right off the top was the villains are real dumb. Like, real fucking dumb.
They're really smart and really dumb at the same time.
Like, the idea is that they are essentially Vulcans, right? They're a race of people who are built on pure logic. They do everything by computer. They only follow the calculations. They have one woman who they've cloned so they can reproduce, I guess. But literally nothing they do makes any goddamn sense. Like, there's no logic in anything they do.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's real fucking dumb. It's real dumb. They're real
What's
dumb.
funny about you saying them being Vulcans? Star Trek the original series didn't come out till 66. This is from 65.
Oh shit! I wonder if they aped that
when you
idea.
said Vulcans, I was like, I gotta know.
Yeah, actually, what's interesting is I also, while watching this, I was getting strong Zardoz vibes. I don't know if you've ever seen Zardoz.
No.
That's an entirely different thing.
I haven't.
It's I think the best way to describe this movie is Sean Connery post James Bond stars in a post-apocalyptic movie about what would have happened if the hippies won.
Sign me the fuck up. Just I can watch him like walking around like, oh god, where's my wife? I'll hit her. Like, just.
It is like, bruh. We gotta like, that's its own episode. That is
all right.
Yeah. So anyway,
the aliens spelled with an X.
Amblians. They're real dumb.
Real dumb. Real smart, real dumb.
Yeah.
Better ingredients. Real smart, real dumb. Just, they're fucking... I like, don't know how to not gush over this movie. It's so good. Every part of it just gets better and better. Like, I love how they're like, we need to take your aliens so we can give you the miracle drug to cure all disease. And then they show up on the fucking planet and just... out of the water.
Yeah.
And Godzilla's like in the fetal position and wakes up on another planet and he's like, what the fuck? What is going on? Who the like? And then him and Rodan just fuck up Geedorah. And that's when he's like, fuck around and find out, bucko. And he jumps on that motherfucker like it's a Tuesday. Oh my god, dude. The miniatures, the sets, the fights, the Godzilla's atomic breath looks 10 times better in this film.
True.
Fuck! This is a good movie.
It's so fucking good. Like, again, this is the perfect marriage of kaiju and ray gun gothic. Like, right down to the movie literally starts with Glenn and Fuji in their little space pod with their bubble heads, on their way to Planet X. Like,
yeah.
As if that's how science works. Like,
yes, that's exactly how science works.
We discovered a new planet. Fuck Mars. Let's go past Jupiter.
Yeah. And I like how they get there. Like, they don't tell you how long it takes for them to get there. No. But, like, that's like a 1.5-year excursion both way. Like, at least. Like, it took 3 months to get to the moon.
Yeah, no. I think Mars is I want to say it's like a 2-year thing, but it might be a 30-year thing. Go gadget Google.
No.
Yeah.
Is Mars that far?
It's not really that it's that far. It's more that shit is really big in space.
Huh. I would have assumed if it took us 3 months in the 60s, the end of the 60s, to get to the moon, it would take us at least 6 to 9 months to get to Mars, honestly.
Oh, it is 6 to 8 months. Sorry.
Oh, shit, look at me.
Yeah, way to fucking go, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm the fucking wizard of guessing time. Hell yeah.
But,
dude, if I had a superpower, it would be the superpower to have an approximate knowledge of all time and weather. So, like, hey, man, what time is it? Probably about 3:30. Someone checks. Dude, it's 3:41. I told you. Like, what's the temperature? Probably about 65 degrees. Dude, it's 62. Like,
not bad.
Sorry, those are my superpowers.
All right, I can dig that. My superpower is getting lost. No matter where I am, I can get fucking lost. Parking garages are my nemesis. Anyway.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, it's impressive.
You know who wasn't lost?
Who?
Fucking Godzilla when he jumped on Geedorah and then kicked rocks at him. How fucking cool was that?
Dude, okay, yeah. Like, I was gonna bring that up later, but I'm convinced now that Godzilla's signature move, it isn't his tail whip, it isn't his fucking breath, it isn't any whatever giga whatever, it's kicking rocks. If we get to the newest ones, like the 2019 one or whatever, and he's not fucking kicking rocks at fucking King Kong, it's not really Godzilla.
See, I'm trying to think back to the 2 new Legendary pictures, and I don't remember rock kicking, but like, dude, when he fucking... Oh, also, Godzilla doesn't show up till 38 minutes in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
last movie, it took him 30-something minutes to get in, and I was upset about it. And this one has such a good human plot that I was totally fucking fine with it. I was so into the story. Like, I was like, oh shit, they're on Planet X! Like, what the fuck? And like, can you put your whole getup on?
Oh, yeah.
Like, look how fucking cool this is.
Boop, 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 boop.
Like, you honestly, you did good, kid. Like,
thanks.
I love the getup. I love the hierarchy of the controller, and they all look the same. I love the glasses.
I love the pointy boots that they had.
Yeah, they had like elf boots.
Yeah.
Like,
pure logic. We need pointy fucking boots.
Like, I know that I'm looking too deep into it, but like, I want to think that they were like, well, maybe they kick rocks, and that helps them kick rocks on their planet. Like, I don't know.
That's a bit of a stretch. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that they had little antenna on their head.
Yeah.
So like, I'm convinced that they didn't actually talk for the sake of anything other than the audience. Like, they were fully connected to each other.
Probably because everything ran on their brainwaves.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Fuck.
I'd like to be able to see things, though.
Yeah. I just since I was talking about them, I wanted like
Yeah, like, the costumage in this movie is fantastic. The acting is surprisingly good. The fucking love plot is there. Like, there's no strife to it. It's just like,
it's so subtle.
Yeah, it's not the main appeal. It's not like, it's like fucking boy loves girl, girl's brother doesn't approve. By the end, he does. That's the entire thing of it.
Yeah, and I like how he failed up, but he didn't fail up in the traditional, like, American sense of, like, oh, well, I'm kind of a loser, and I only work 2 nights a week at this bar, and then by the end of the movie, he owns the bar, and he's dating, like, a supermodel. In this one, he failed up in the sense of, like, hey, I'm kind of an eccentric weirdo, and I'm an inventor, and he, like, lives with his mom, and he invented this toy. And then it was just like, yeah, we're not really going to do anything with it because the noise it made would kill the fucking aliens.
Yeah, actually, even better, it wasn't even, I don't know if it was the same in the American version, but in the Japanese version, he was making that as a defense tool for women. Like, that was meant to be an anti-rape device.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that, it was either the sound was supposed to piss off your assaulter or attract a lot of attention.
I don't remember that, to be honest.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie.
I just remember he was making something. I don't remember what the purpose was. Did you know in Japan, there's women-only train rides because women get groped so often on the train?
I did not know that.
Yeah. I want to say from, like, and I'm probably wrong when I say this, but I want to say it's from like 6:30 to like 7:30, or maybe like even earlier than that. If you get on the train, if you try to get on the train as a man in Japan, they will not allow it. It is for women only, so they can safely get to work.
You know your country has a problem when.
Yeah, but at least they,
At least they're trying to do something.
yeah.
Yeah.
At least they're trying to do something.
Something, anything, other than fucking blame the women, I guess.
Well, I mean,
speaking of, there are 3 women in this movie. But to be fair, one of them plays a lot of clones. So
yeah.
I'm counting that as one woman.
Yeah, I do like it. I like how it's not like, oh, I failed up into the point where I'm a millionaire. He failed up into the sense of, yeah, I don't have money, but I saved the human race on accident because I'm a doofy weirdo.
Well, actually, no, he sold his idea to a toy company and made a but
They never gave him money.
They didn't?
Nope. In the American version, he never gets any money. He kept going back and going like, what are you doing with my thing? Where is my money? And then it shows the CEO burning the blueprints.
Yeah. I thought that they had paid him for the blueprints.
No, he gave it to them, and he never got he never got the money from it.
Got you.
Well, at least in the American version, he made it where he never got paid for it. Yeah, so he took his like girlfriend out to an expensive dinner, and then he's like, I can afford it. Don't worry, we're celebrating. And so as far as I know, he never got the money.
Got you. I assumed... Oh, no, you're right. You're absolutely fucking right, because I remember that scene. That was when she was talking about, well, it's not a toy. And he was like, but it's a toy company. I remember that the woman who made him sign the contract, who is an alien...
Glenn's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Lady Glenn.
They need him for fucking aliens and punching people. But they... I remember that it was very strange that a stipulation of the contract was that he got paid once they started marketing it. So they never marketed it, so he never got paid. You're right.
Yeah.
Like,
see, they didn't do that in the movie, in the American version.
Oh.
In the dubbed version, he's just like... I mean, maybe they did, and I just don't remember it. They probably did, and I just don't remember it. Whatever.
Anyway.
What's your favorite scene?
Yeah, I was about to say, we're spending way too much time talking about the fucking humans in this movie when, for fuck's sake, there's so much that happens. My favorite scene in this movie, there's a lot of, like, small little things that I love. Like, the sister/love interest, 2 different guys. Are, like...
yeah.
The faces she makes are hilarious. She is, like, she reminds me a lot of a friend of mine. Okay. And I think that's probably why I love it. But, like, it always feels like she's reading a different script and reacting slightly different than what she's supposed to. Like, they just gave her a different script with different cues that she was supposed to have. So fucking funny. My favorite scene in this movie has got to be... oh my god. Too many good scenes. It's got to be... I have to pick one scene, though?
No, I mean, like a favorite scene.
Okay, a favorite scene has got to be when they first... when... Okay, so the setup is the inventor brother decides that he wants to get his money or for some reason and goes to this secluded island and gets captured and put in jail. Eventually, Glenn gets captured and thrown into the same jail fucking months later. And immediately, people are like, well, where's Glenn? Bitch's brother... Or sorry, bitch's fiance and dude, like, has been in this jail for months and no one has said a damn thing about him. And they end up in the same jail cell. Like, whatever. Oh my god, like, that's too fucking funny. Yeah, the scene where they're extracting Godzilla and Rodan from the lake and the the mountainside. I really enjoyed that scene a lot. It felt very the miracle of life. Like this is a fertilized egg. She's going to give birth to a Godzilla.
Okay.
I don't know. It was really fun to me. Also, fun fact about that is that was before laser printing was a thing. And for the scene where they were extracting Rodan from the mountainside, the pattern in which it did it was very much like laser engraving. And I thought that was a really interesting, like, prediction that happened. Yeah, speculative fiction is often really fun when it lines up, and also equally as fun when it doesn't line up.
I read an article about an AI that can like feel now, so we're there.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it can like write you a paper. Like the thing was strawberries, and it was like strawberries are a delicious treat, and this many grams has this many calories, and they're refreshing and full of fiber. And then you can put in that you need it to write it like it's a scientist, and it's like strawberry, or this is the genus and the phylum, and this everything is this and that, and is filled with these nutrients, and it puts together and has electrolytes, to the point where like it started asking questions. Like I don't know what it was feeling, but it was fucking hungry for knowledge.
Interesting.
Yeah, GT3 or something.
Okay, I remember reading an article about a similar thing years and years ago that, like, it wasn't an AI that could think and feel, but they built it based on a baby's brain. So, like, it had potential, but it learned through experience. So, in order for it to learn, you had to interact with it. So it couldn't talk.
That's neat.
It was really neat, but also kind of terrifying.
That's really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so AI is a fascinating fucking thing. But
How did you feel about them giving up Godzilla and Rodan so they could have the Wonder Drug? What did you feel about that?
I thought that, well, okay, actually, that was one of the things I did like is the astronauts that got kidnapped by the aliens didn't immediately make a decision, because like they deferred to world leaders for that.
Yeah, the Women's Council.
Yeah, that's where the one of the three women in this movie was in that room. It's not like Godzilla and Rodan are good guys. They consistently destroy things. So, yeah. I feel like them taking... Okay, first of all, the fact that they just met these people and, like, just discovered this planet, have not been to Jupiter yet and decided to explore it, like, that... The timeline doesn't really add up, but...
No, it's all good. Don't worry. Don't think about it too much.
Exactly. I think, in that case, it was probably a good deal. If they actually got the drug... But instead, what they got was an ultimatum for Planet X trying to invade. Which brings me to why I thought they were so fucking dumb. If they are truly based on computers, like, they do everything by calculation, and logic and all that shit, why is their best plan to steal Rodan and Godzilla and then bring back Rodan, Godzilla, and King Ghidorah?
Why not replicate them?
Or, now here's a weird one, send a fleet of flying saucers to just shoot shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I had a crazy thought.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've seen this one, so I didn't remember, and I was kind of thinking that, like, maybe this is how we get multiple Godzillas? I don't remember.
It's still possible. Like, the humans, Earth wins in the end, but Planet X is still a threat, so they might come back. Oh yeah, what did you think of the guys... Okay, first of all, what was the alien's last line in... the controller's last line in the English version?
That they were gonna go to another dimension?
Okay. Because in the sub, it was, "We will see you in the future."
Something like that. They were going to the future dimension. and then they just blew up. Something like that, yeah.
So,
who's your General Clinton?
Oh, right. My general... Oh, see, I have two in mind. Mm-hmm. It's either Glenn or the old scientist guy.
Okay.
The Glenn's boss. Because, like, fucking... Come on. Glenn, his entire purpose is fuck alien, punch alien. That's what he does. That's Glenn's shtick. And also I really love that at the end of the movie they make Glenn the ambassador to Planet X because he had sex with an alien. Like,
do they say that explicitly in?
No, they say that he's the ambassador, but like it's why him and not Fuji?
I don't know. I genuinely didn't think of it like that. I was just like, all right, yeah, fuck him, throw him away. Put him there.
He's expendable.
So I like how Planet X is like, we're here to conquer, and then it's like, no, fuck you, and then the Earth is like, now we're gonna go conquer Planet X.
Yeah, right. You try and conquer us, we'll conquer you right back, bitch.
Fucking, this movie's incredible, dude. Can we talk about the miniatures?
Oh yeah.
My General Clinton is either the commander. The commander of Planet X.
Controller.
Just because I thought he was goofy. And the controller. Or everybody that's a part of his army.
Fair.
Because they were pretty much a hive mind and just kind of did whatever. And I like their little guns that, like, evaporated people to death.
And just melted shit.
Dude, this movie is so... I don't know if I said this before. I don't know if I'll ever have kids. And if I do ever have kids, hey guys, sorry if I was talking shit on you on the internet 30 years ago. But this is something that, like, I can't wait to give to my children if I have them. Like, get ready, kids. Your grandmother showed me these, and now you gotta watch them too. Like,
it's family tradition.
Yeah, like, ugh, so fucking good. He fucking jumps on him twice. He fucking says, fuck your shit. He goes, fuck your shit, and he jumps on him twice. And then Rodan's dropping rocks while Godzilla's kicking him. All right, so the miniatures. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is the fucking minute-long montage of Godzilla just kicking in houses. Just kicking in houses. Dude, the fire in this looks so good.
Agreed.
Like...
Yeah, no, this movie definitely feels like they're finally hitting their stride in terms of special effects and shit.
Yes.
I also really enjoyed what they tried to do with the miniatures of the secret weapon that they bust out to destroy the aliens. Namely, they tried to splice in the miniatures with the real vehicles.
Yes.
And I thought that was a really nice touch.
There's a scene where Godzilla is in the background by a mountain, like, throwing a fit, and Rodan, I think he's being controlled by the aliens at that point, and Rodan's just kind of, like, flapping there, and it's such a well-framed shot. Like, you can just see Godzilla, and he's like, fuck this shit! Why the fuck am I back? And Rodan's like, caw, caw. And then, like, there's a bunch of people like, oh no, and running. And I was like, I want that as a poster. It's so well shot. It's so well framed. It's just so fucking good. And then he kicks buildings in for fucking a minute straight. He lights them motherfuckers on fire. He's kicking rocks. Rodan flies by a bridge, and he flies by the bridge so fucking fast that it knocks over. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, dude, this fucking movie is so goddamn good. Like, I keep saying the same shit over and over again, but Godzilla literally looks at Geedorah and he goes, what fucking set you run? Yeah? Put that shit on Lamron, and fucking rocks him twice!
So
and then he does it into the ocean! Like, damn it!
Fucking, and they beat King Ghidorah so bad that he's like, fuck this, and just flies home. Like, I can't do Earth. I can't. I did. Oh shit! You brought up the thing. Oh yeah, fucking another favorite scene of mine. And like a lot of my favorite scenes are not the monsters fighting, because monsters fighting is just enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
But like, one of my favorite scenes was when the flying saucers first turned up, like before they did the miracle of life thing that I mentioned earlier. I like that entire sequence, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, they're explaining what they're going to do, and they're like, we're going to take Godzilla and we're going to take Rodan. And Godzilla pops up, and then the other flying saucer, there's 3 total, the other flying saucer flies off. And one of the generals is like, follow that saucer, move out, like, keep an eye on it. And so they disseminate the orders, and I'm like, are they going to fly? Are they going to, like, a helicopter? What? And they're, nope. Soldiers are literally running on land through mountains trying to keep up with this fucking flying saucer. And they do. Like, just sprinting. I can just imagine them like, fuck this. They did not do this in basic. Fucking shit. Like, holy shit. An army of Usain Bolts, man. So good.
I love this movie. I love
so
this
good.
movie so fucking much, dude.
Yes.
It's so good.
I would say this is definitely, like, I'd like this one better than the previous one.
Absolutely. This one's, like, my rating for the last one has changed because of this one.
Damn.
Yeah. Because I don't even remember what I gave the last one. This one is so much better than the last one. It's so fucking good. Like, I'm trying to not be and space out, trying to think about how much what else I liked about this movie. But like, when they pull him out of the water, the Miracle of Life scene where they pull him out, fucking, he's like coiled up in himself with his tail sticking through, and I was laying down on my couch watching it, and I audibly went, "Ha ha! Look at him go!" Like, it was just such a natural reaction. This is such a fucking good movie. This is a movie that, like, I hate saying, like, oh, you should get drunk or get high and watch a movie, but, like, this is one of those where if you do it, it's gonna be good, but you don't have to. Like, this is a movie that you want to put on with your friends. It's a movie that you want to put on and be like, guys, we're about to watch and it's just serious enough. Like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, it's just like, here's this plot. It's believable in the sense that, like, you understand what's going on, but it's not just like, oh, this is happening because movie. Like, it's like, all right, this makes sense. Like, this is happening. Them coming back to Earth and going to the council makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not just they're like, ba-bow.
And another thing this movie did, I would say, better than the first movie, is this movie does pseudoscience way better.
Really?
Like, yeah, like, so the way they defeat aliens, the Amblians, is they discover that the noisemaker that's supposed to protect women is deadly to these aliens. Very much similar to fucking Mars attacks. Yeah. And they're controlling Rodan, Godzilla, and King Ghidorah using magnetic frequencies. And they're like, we can interfere with the magnetic frequencies. Like, all of this, sure. Why the fuck not? It's definitely not like, we're going to split a molecule and destroy water. You know?
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Oh! And... my favorite thing about this movie is the theme of nuclear weapons are never worth it, no matter how big the problem is.
Yeah.
Is continuing through. Like, that is the one through line throughout all of these movies so far, is nuclear weapons are bad.
And what's funny about you saying that is I was watching the soldiers run through the mountains, and I was going, imagine this dude just got done with, like he got in the war during World War II and became a career soldier. And he's like, thinking back on the day the bomb dropped, and he's like, at least when that shit happened, it was over. Now, every other week, it's a giant fucking monster or goddamn aliens coming out of the sky. Like, at this point, a nuke feels normal.
Fucking right.
Like...
right? Not to mention, like, it's very, like, this movie feels very much like it inspired a lot of other movies that I thoroughly love. Like, like Mars Attacks and Starship Troopers. Like, So fucking good. Also,
I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Really?
I'm not. I what did you call it? Ray gun gothic?
Yes.
Like that 60s, like
50s, 60s. We're going to get into this penis-shaped rocket and fly
Yeah.
to the moon. We need to have a woman so that she can make our breakfast. Who gives a shit if she's a scientist?
Yeah. That I'm more into because of the cheese, because of the camp. If you're a Star Wars person, that's cool. I liked when they came back because it was my generation now had their own Star Wars to be excited about. Star Trek I've always wanted to get into because it just seems like a soap opera in space. But I remember when it was on Netflix and I tried getting into it, I just kept falling asleep. And it wasn't because I was bored. It was just because I normally put Netflix on to go to bed. So I think my body was like, it is bedtime. So I never got past like the third episode because I just kept having to restart them. Sci-fi doesn't do much for me in the sense of like space sci-fi, especially when it's clean. This is clean, but it's like you said, it's that ray gun gothic.
Yeah.
It's cheesy. It's campy. It doesn't make sense. Like it makes sense in the sense that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and it sticks to its own logic very soundly.
Yeah. Yeah. Star Wars is fucking... The expanded universe of Star Wars is cool. The Jedi Council, the way that the Jedi are more of like a religion and less of like a bunch of people who have mind powers. That shit's cool. A lot of that shit's cool. But I know my friend who's in the military who's actually like above people. Like he's a platoon leader. I don't know what his rank is exactly, but he's good. You know what I mean? Like he's got a decent fucking thing ahead of him. He has guys that are under him that on their dog tag says Jedi. Like that's their religion. Like it doesn't say like they're Jewish or they're Christian, which is super cool.
My name tags or my dog tags have Jedi on them.
Do they really?
Yes, I was
No shit.
Yeah, when I joined, I was one of the first generation of soldiers where they had the expanded religion list.
No fucking way.
No fucking way. I would show them to you, but they have my social security on them.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But yeah, legit. Jedi was for my religious preference.
What else is on the expanded list?
Oh my god.
Could you say you're like a Branch Davinian?
Potentially. I know that Pagan is on there.
Wow.
I don't know about Satanism. I know Sith is on there.
No fucking way.
No fucking
Those
way.
Are the bad guys.
Jedi and Sith.
That's so tight.
Yeah. Like, I guess they realize, like, because the point of that being on your dog tags is if they find your body and you're dead. Like, how should they bury you?
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess they realize that, fuck it. Not everyone's Christian or Jewish or Muslim. And we need more people to join. So might as well incentivize the nerds.
Well, I mean, you know, that's cool. That's cool that you have like that little bit of like you could put yourself like whatever. We're getting away from the point.
Yeah.
This is the kind of sci-fi I like. I like post-apocalyptic sci-fi. I like giant monster sci-fi. This shit tickles my gray matter, my gray meat, and my brain face in such a way. And like I said before, these are movies where like you were watching the intro, like you were watching the credits, and I'm very much like credits are on. I'm opening the popcorn, cracking a drink, like making sure my texts are answered. But like as soon as this movie started, I was in it. I was fucking in it. This movie is so goddamn good. And did you notice? I'm not keeping tally of this, but every single movie so far has been a guy with really cool sunglasses.
Yeah. No, you're right. Right?
I mean, as the past few, there's been always one person with some neato sunglasserinos.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I'd have to go back and watch Raids again.
I don't think... Raids Again is one of the only ones that I think won't have cool glasses. But I was actually going to say that, but yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think you're right. That's something we're going to have to start keeping track of.
Yeah. Watch, the next one's not going to have it. The next movie...
Yes.
Let me get it up. I just want to double check and make sure I have the right name. Where did it go? This was Invasion of the Astro-Monster. Please load. There we go. The next one is Geedorah, Horror of the Deep.
Oh, Jesus.
1966.
Okay.
Just the IMDb shows that it's a new monster. Just show me the fucking poster. Come on, IMDb. It's a new monster, but my girl's back.
Oh.
So, minor spoiler, but my girl's back. And you know me, I love me some of that Mothra. That being said, your final thoughts on Okay, so it's Invasion of the Astro-Monster.
Yes.
And then in the US version, it just came up as Monster Zero. There was another one that was called Monster Zero versus Godzilla, and I have seen Godzilla versus Monster Zero, and I've seen Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. So there's like 16 names for this one. But the next one, I guess, if I'm using this correctly, Geedorah, the Horror of the Deep, or Godzilla versus the Sea Monster.
Fuck. All right.
So what is your final thoughts on, before we wrap, what are your final thoughts on the Invasion of the Astro-Monster?
My final thoughts about this, fucking definitely go watch this movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely, it's a trip. I would say, with the exception of the first movie, this movie is the best put together.
Oh, yeah.
Of all of them so far.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, even insofar as the big leaps in time don't not make sense. Like, you don't notice them unless you're looking for them like I do.
Yeah. They explain the leaps in this one.
Some
when
of them.
They're flying into space, he's like, we've only been in space for 4 hours.
Yeah, we're going a quarter of the speed of light.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat. But, like, there's also the 24 hours they have to either surrender or whatever. Like, they're... Oh, god damn it. I'm drawing a blank, but there's something that happens in that time frame that, like, should have either have taken 5 minutes or 3 weeks. And I can't remember what it was, but that sort of shit happens all the time.
It was the 14 hours they had to make the radio jammer.
Yeah! And they just fucking crank it out.
And then here's just these two fucking monolith things that come out and just into this movie's amazing. This movie's so fucking good.
Yes. Fucking love this movie. Watch it with your friends. Stuff like that. What's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, I kind of see the first movie, and with some exception, the second movie, as their own canon. And when I say their own canon, I mean we're in the Showa era. And we're in the Showa era for a little while longer, but I consider the first movie, and maybe even the second movie to some extent, to be like the Godzilla Prime era, where there's Prime, Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and then now the Legacy and whatever the newest ones are a part of. I kind of consider that to be its own thing, but this movie feels the most cinematic. The way it's shot feels very modern. And I'm not saying that in a good or bad way. I'm just saying it feels modern. It feels like a lot was taken from this. It feels like maybe it took a lot from the time itself of how theater was, how film was, how cinema was. Because remember, we are used to American cinema. We're used to maybe films from the 60s and the 70s when these movies were coming out. But we know them from an American view. I watched something recently that Japanese movie theaters can be 4 or 5 or 6 stories tall, and that each floor could have 2 screens on them. So like here you walk into one floor, and that one floor has maybe 10 screens of them all going at different times. In Japan, there can be, like, these are small differences that you have to take into account when you're watching a movie from a different country, and this is well before the internet.
Oh, yeah.
So we were not connected. So if you saw any, like, this movie didn't come to the US until the 70s, like 1970. So imagine it being 1970 and you watching this movie that's already 5 years old, but seeing the cultural differences, the technological differences, the way people interact, the way people bow. This isn't like you can go on the internet and be like, what is a Japan? Like, you would have to see, like, these people, no one shook hands. No one shook hands. The only time anybody even touched anybody was when the American put his hand on the toy inventor. And that's just me noticing that as someone who, I'll be honest, because of COVID, I kind of miss shaking hands with people.
Don't even get me started. Like, fuck.
And, like, it's weird to think that, not weird in the sense of of it being wrong, but weird in the sense of I'm so used to, like, hello, sir, how are you? To see these people bow, and that the deeper you bow is the more respect you have for them. So to see this from a different cultural context is so neat to me, and especially when Godzilla is running up to a three-headed motherfucker and going, run this shit, bitch, and then jumps on him. God damn, is this a good movie? He just fucking, this is such a good film. It's so well made. It sets a precedent for the rest of the movies, which is a good and a bad thing, but also these movies have their own weird canon where certain ones are connected, certain ones aren't connected, but at the same time, you could just watch them as is. And I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but the point I want to make is I'm going to give this a rating of 9.2 loud rape device things, anti-rape device things out of 10.
Okay. I give it 9.5 goofy dancing Godzillas out of 10.
Ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding. Okay, so there's before we leave, before we thank everybody, there is a Godzilla game that was a PlayStation exclusive from 2014, and when it came out, I was still in high school, and I didn't, like, have any money, so I was like, alright, I'll get it when it's cheaper, like, when it's a $20 or $30 game. Turns out they didn't print that many fucking copies, and now it's, like, a $200 game used.
Shit!
Yeah, and apparently it's like, if you're a Godzilla fan, it's the best game, the best Godzilla game ever. There's every version of Godzilla in it, like, by year. Like, every different suit is in it. There's, like, different versions of bad guys. Like, there's it's not like you pick Mothra and it's you pick a skin. Do you want Mothra or Larva Mothra? There's Mothra and there's Larva Mothra as two different things. There's a bunch of other characters that you can pick. There's characters that, like, only ever show up in one movie that only really have, like, one continuity about them. Like, super, super, super fucking good. If you pick the right Godzilla and if you jump as Godzilla, remember in Super Mario 64, be like, yeah, wahoo, that. Like, you could do the big jumps. Godzilla's third jump is he starts jumping like in this fucking movie. Fucking.
That's awesome. What's this game called?
So fucking good. That's what I gotta say.
What's the game called, real quick?
I think it's just Godzilla 2014. If you look up Godzilla 2014 on the PS4, I don't even think you could buy it digitally. Like I'm so against buying digital games. Like, I want to own something, but like, I don't think you can buy it digitally.
Wow.
Like, that's why it's like $200. Someone in the Discord had bought it recently. They spent like not a grip, but they spent a lot on it. And I remember talking to them. I was like, "Is it good?" They're like, "Dude, it's the best fucking Godzilla game I've ever played." And, like, your Godzilla can change. So, like, you start off at 50 meters, but if you play them more, they can grow. So you could have, like, a Godzilla that's only supposed to be 50 meters be, like, 150 meters, which is a really neat concept. And then you can, like, battle people online because it's, like, a tournament fighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not too many people, because there's not that many copies of it.
Yeah. It's like a fucking $200 game. It's insane.
Nerd's gonna nerd, man.
Yeah.
That's just how that goes. Anyway, closing arguments.
I mean, that's just, we gotta thank everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. I've been Vince.
I have been Marcus.
This has been Lizard Brains, a Ghoulman production. There's links in the description below to our socials, to the Redbubble, where you can buy some stuff. There's also a link to our Patreon where you can throw us a couple bucks. There should have been earlier a quick thank you message to the Patreon members. Join our Discord. You can come in, talk about this show, talk about any of the other Ghoulman shows. We have, obviously, Lizard Brains. We have Atomic Radio Hour, where my friend Olive and I talk about Fallout and the Apocalypse, and we yell at I yell at her. And then there's Kyle and Vince Likes, and we have Atomic Tabletop, which is D&D and Fallout came together. Marcus, you're still off the grid, pretty much?
more or less, good luck finding me. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much for watching. You can find me on the Discord. I'm usually there.
Gang. All right. I think that's everything.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, gang shit, homie. Be safe.
You as well, man. Peace out.
A Ghoulman Entertainment production.